Hey. Well, apparently we're live now, so welcome to the Johnny Come Lately's podcast. I mean,
Yeah,
usually I'd say that, but we are live streaming again just because it's, well, something we're trying out. I am Mona Drew. With me is
the dreaded Cambrian.
hello, the dreaded Cambrian. I should point out this is labeled as the New Year's stream. I know it's the fucking 12th of January. Reason for that is you may or may not have noticed last week there was also the New Year stream, but upon reviewing it straight afterwards, all of Cambrian's audio got cut out.
So would people have heard you if they were listening in?
They heard me, but just me, and it was a super one-sided conversation.
That's pretty sweet.
I kind of know how it happened. I've got like my main good mic rig set up here, which hopefully you're all listening to. For some reason, though, Google Hangouts, it was taking my audio from a complete other mic. So not only could they not hear you, but my audio quality was also super shit.
Oh, right. Well, makes sense anyway.
I double-checked the settings. It says it's coming through the correct mic now, just in case I am like recording this in Audacity as a backup.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you happen to be listening to this stream and enjoying it, well, thanks. But if you're not enjoying it, but you think you might, but the audio is absolute shit, tune in just a bit later in the day because I'll re-upload it with like the full thing. So
like better audio on that.
Yeah. So so it's a late New Year stream, but how are you?
Yeah, all right. I suppose we'll go back through what we did over Christmas and New Year's, I suppose, which is just eat and watch shite.
Pretty much the same with me, like eat and be ill. Actually, in my case, I was a bit ill just before Christmas, and then after Christmas, leading through New Year, I got like a pretty heavy cold. So I've just been super mucusy and just not feeling fantastic, and that's only really just stopped in the last week.
No, I see.
So yeah, basically, I don't know about you. I know what pisses me off about being ill. Sorry. One of it's just feeling ill yourself, and the other one is being inactive and not being able to go out and do things. For me, it's exercise. I mean, I'm not like super fit or anything, but I go to the gym and I like to do things regularly. And for 2 weeks, I've just been completely inactive. So in the last week, when I've started training again, it's been like a fucking shock to the system. Like I've been feeling so fucking bad.
Well, that's one thing, mind you. Just last week, I started playing again, and these hits are killing me at the minute. And they used to just be something I could do while watching stuff.
I've seen some of the ones you've done in the past, like the cycles look pretty brutal.
Same ones, yeah. I don't feel my man titties bouncing when I'm doing it. It's horrible. Something for the lady. Cambrian's a man titty.
Yeah, I mean, shit, what to say about 2018?
That's one thing, like, you know, I'm joking about my man titties and all that, but at least I'm doing something about it.
No, that's good. I mean, there's plenty of people out there who don't do shit and just complain about it.
Yeah, and again, I was saying this to my dad even the other day. There's people who don't train, who don't want to better themselves, and just complain that the world hates them. It's like, well, it's a you problem.
Oh god, I was watching a really good video on that the other day. Slight spoilers for what's coming up. Actually, I've seen it before. It was a channel I followed a little while ago. It sadly seems to be a bit more inactive at the moment. How the fuck do you say its name? It's like Schmuffkin TV or something. I think she might be... Oh, look, there's a current live stream. It's me. Was it Schmuffkin TV or something like that? It's not too important. But she was talking about, I think it was a Ukrainian like dating show. And she was just using it as a kind of example, really, that one of the contestants on that was like a 300, 400-pound woman saying about, you know, how it's her assets and how she's beautiful because of how unique she is.
No.
Yet so many of those types of people, including her, when they're asked what they want in a guy, it's like 6 foot, fit, handsome. It's fucking hell.
Opposite, then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus. It's okay. They can have demands.
Yeah, Christ. You know, I complain about my weight all the time because, to be honest, I'm not that good. Like, I'm not that healthy, but if I didn't go to the gym and I didn't at least try to eat fairly decent most of the time, I would be way worse.
Yeah, and again, you would then also have no reason to complain.
Yeah. You know, I am doing stuff. I didn't do anything last night because I was super fucking tired. And to be honest, it is good to take a little break every so often.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to recover. But I'm back at the gym later today. Anyway, none of that's important. And people might be wondering why I've got this image up. Everyone I don't like is Hitler, a child's guide to online political discussion, because that's pretty much been my last year.
Well, everyone you like is ill. Everyone you don't like is ill.
No, it's more like people who disagree with me, to them, I am Hitler. Yeah. God, even recently, I made a comment on a clip from The Man in the High Castle a few weeks back, actually months back, only to watch that clip today and not realize that my comment, which I left, has like led to a reply stream, which is about 30 odd comments long, where I'm being called like part of the Jewish conspiracy, a Nazi sympathizer, and a liberal cuck, because all those things go together wonderfully.
I was going to say all at once.
Yeah, I mean, by different people, but you know, all I was...
They're just throwing words at you, though, really, aren't they?
Yeah, all I was basically saying is, you know, despite the context, this is a pretty impressive scene, which it was. I'm not going to go into what it was because it's like fucking it's from the end of season 2, and if you don't watch the show, like the context is meaningless.
Yeah,
but you know, that's pretty much all I said, which led to just a wonderful diatribe because the internet's such a wonderful, magical place.
Oh yeah, it's magical, all right.
It's special, we should say.
Yeah, well, that's one word for it.
Yeah. So I did have some serious articles lined up for the previous recording as well. Dios, I'm not going to go into that at all today.
No.
I mean, yeah, no, I don't want to be too heavy making this like the first show. Again, mild spoilers for what's coming up next. A few smaller things which have happened in the last year. Never actually got around to mentioning this, but I picked up one time when I was looking through the Metro, there seems to be an odd rise in eye mutilation crimes.
And what?
Eye mutilations.
Whoa.
Like literally, I was reading a completely unrelated story on the metro.co.uk, and like two of the suggested stories underneath next to each other was man plucked Grand's eyeballs out, then smashed concrete block over her head. And the story next to it is teen yanked out 74-year-old relative's eyeballs with his bare hands.
What the hell is wrong?
And these are completely unrelated stories.
Jesus. I'm losing my voice. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I've been sick for like 2 weeks, so...
Yeah, I think I've got something now.
Christ, I've noticed most of the time one of us is ill. Yeah, I just thought it was weird. I kind of saved the screenshot to bring it up at some point. It pretty much never happened. Another one I haven't mentioned, but you know, it's kind of coming to the close of last year, so we'll bring it up. Peter made this wonderful tweet that got attention. Right. Words matter, and as our understanding of social justice evolves, barf. That's my addition there. Our language evolves with it. Here's how you can remove speciesism from your daily conversations.
Okay.
Stop using anti-animal language. Here's a little graph for you. Instead of saying kill 2 birds with 1 stone, you could say feed 2 birds with 1 scone. As someone helpfully pointed out, that would probably kill him as well.
Yeah. Oh man, I was talking to someone the other day about that sort of thing, and he's absolutely right. And he was saying it's a form of fucking brainwashing.
Oh God,
language now.
it's
God.
it's very popular, and like especially when it comes to like political and shit like this, they were censored to bring up 1984. I've actually not read all of 1984. I do have it, but
That's all right.
unless you kind of look into the story and what actually happens, some of the ideas in it are about context. You might not understand them, but one of the big things in 1984, what the government was doing, well, what is the government in that? Is using the power of language and changing meanings and things to control people.
Exactly.
And the scary thing is, that's a lot like what goes on from a lot of different corners today.
It's just the norm now. It's expected. Like, people are waiting to see how we're going to get controlled now.
So here's some few other examples. Instead of be the guinea pig, you could say be the test tube. Instead of saying beat the dead horse, feed a fed horse.
Why?
Why? It's already
been fed.
Jesus Christ.
So basically, as long as it rhymes, it'll do.
Nope. Something else unrelated. Yikes. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, bring home the bacon. Instead, you might want to say, bring home the bagels.
No.
And last one, take the bull by the horns. Instead, you should say, take the flower by the thorns.
No, that sounds painful.
Yeah, I like this is how this is how Peter spends its like time. Unless I suppose this is preferable in euthanizing all those animals they do, but conveniently don't talk about.
Oh God, I know. Yeah, that was pointed out even in the early 2000s. Like,
yeah, they're a borderline terrorist organization. You know, people love animals, but no.
It's just weird.
Trying to think if there's much else to round up. I mean, I've got sort of a few slides and things. Do you know what? Fuck it. Let's get into this now. It's kind of relevant to us. Well, maybe not us in particular, but it's kind of relevant, especially to do with New Year, considering it had a New Year special recently. Doctor Who.
Oh God, yes.
Again, not been watching the series, not so much out of avoidance, although I'm kind of avoiding it as well. It's just the fact I don't have television enabled, so.
Yeah, I just don't sadly care.
Yeah, to be honest, and it's actually nothing to do with the most recent changes in the series. I kind of stopped watching it a few years back just because it was getting really fucking tedious.
Yeah.
If anything, I almost want to watch some of the new series just to like see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, so at least you've got an opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I watch a lot of reviews though about it. There's channels like Clownfish TV, Nerdrotic, Mecha Random 42. They're really good channels who, to be honest, are going to go into what I'm talking about here a lot more in detail. So if you're interested, check out those channels. Yeah. But kind of partly to do with Doctor Who as a subject on its own, and partly to do with one of the things I've really noticed in the last year, and I'm coming into the 19 being totally aware of, is do not fucking trust like journalism, especially criticism, at all.
Oh God, yeah, I know.
Like the very idea of like the critic, to me, is just fucking dead. Yeah. And not just talking about Channel Awesome here. Well, I mean, we've actually both done journalism, like review journalism as well. You more than I have, but you know.
Yeah, well, I think we mentioned on the stream that never was that you used to do movie and stuff as well. Didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, I'll go into it a bit when I sort of hit the point here, but you know, let's get into this. Rotten Tomatoes, especially, is kind of famous for its reviews. A lot of people use that to kind of gauge opinion.
Yeah, I don't know why. I really don't know why.
Whether critical, whether critical or like fan reviews. It's known to have problems with like bots and a lot of fake reviews and things. But even so, if you read the reviews, ones which are actually written by human beings, you can kind of get like your finger on the pulse of what's going on.
Yeah.
Especially with the modern woke series of Doctor Who, though, like a lot of things seem to be coming out of the woodworks when it comes to criticism and reviews.
Mm.
And I think the biggest thing is the massive difference between professional critical response and audience response.
You know, you're not the only one to have noticed that. I was speaking to someone yesterday who said exactly the same thing about the Orville that we brought up a little while back. I
actually have a slide for that, although not really a topic, but yeah, and the Orville has relatively low critical response, but almost perfect audience response.
To the point that there's now a new series coming out.
Yeah, but what we're looking at here is the reviews of Doctor Who Series 11, where critical response is being rated as an average of 94%.
Oh, Jesus, really?
And the audience is 26%. Now, that's actually not what it is now. I took this shot a few weeks back. It's went from 26% to 23%. To 22%.
Oh.
And just out of interest, I brought it up in a tab here just to see what it is now. Whoops. It's back at 22% again, although, interestingly, the critical score has went down 1% as well.
That's it.
So,
but, you know, it's a good show.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have to love it. I mean, just look at these. Oh, God, I had the slides. I've got the website up now. I may as well just use this. Like, look at these reviews. This says a lot about the show or the critic. The fact that this season, the first to star a woman in 55 years, was so interested in how long it takes to change and how many people have to suffer in the process, played like a response to the history of the show.
Really?
What is that saying exactly? This is Kelly Connolly.
It's just words.
Again, it's mentioning the fact that it's a woman very prominently. Doesn't say too much about the series itself in this small caption.
They never do. It's just always about that.
And the point that it's just saying that it played like a response to the history of the show, is that like saying, oh, well, now that the Doctor's a woman, we don't have to, we can safely say that all of the show before this was racist and horrible and misogynist.
Yeah.
Is that what they're fucking saying?
Pretty much.
This is one of the more famous reviews that gets brought up. I'm now too old for the Time Lord's adventures. A great weariness came upon me as she explained her sonic screwdriver to her charisma-free pals. But still, I couldn't be more glad that the Doctor is at last a girl. Top score. Again, not really talking about the show itself. In fact, if it's talking about the companions... Oh, sorry. Friends. That's the politically correct thing now. Yeah, they're not even talking about the companions in a positive light. They're saying they're charisma-free. So... the cast are boring and don't have charisma, but Doctor's a girl. 5 stars!
She's a girl.
This is another one as well from, is it Michael Adato? Whittaker's Doctor has arrived. She's not just made her mark, as each Doctor does, but she's raised the bar, and she's brilliant, just brilliant. That's...
Okay, explain to me how, because everyone that I've ever heard who's watched it doesn't like her.
Same to me.
They're saying she's great, but how?
I literally know only one person in real life who I've seen who have liked the new series. Oh God, I was going to read this whole article, but it's a bit too much. A doctor for our age. Okay.
No, that's true. Yep, because our age is shit.
Oh Christ, that is very fucking true. Season has been marked by change. The stories are firmly anchored in the character's offbeat sense of humor. Okay, again, I've not actually seen it, but a lot of the reviews I've had from people and sources I trust have said how incredibly awkward and like charisma-free Whittaker is.
Charisma-free, using it now.
Oh yes. To be honest, though, I heard this from like real people. I don't know how real these reviewers are.
True.
So I'm going to go back to the slide because let's have a look. So, God's sake, and this goes into other things. But you mentioned the Orville, how it's really interesting. The fans really like that show. They said it's like the closest thing we have to Star Trek on TV these days.
Yeah.
More than the actual series, like Star Trek Discovery, the recent one, which audience average score was like 54% liked it. Yet, funny enough, the critics are also 82%.
It's woke.
Because it's woke. And yeah, I've got it up here as well. The Orville critical review score of the first season, 27%. Audience score, 94%. You know, the people who the show is made for, who are actually watching and enjoying it and spending their leisure time to watch something, they seem to like it. As opposed to the people who are like paid by magazines and corporations to give their little spin on things.
Yeah, but, you know, we're wrong.
Yeah. But whose opinion do you trust more? Like, honestly.
The people that are paid to tell you it's good because it earns them money, or the people that are, like you, trying to watch something entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, you know, these shows are actually made for the audience, not critics. Like, the entire media of like television and film isn't purely made for the entertainment and approval of critics.
Feels like it is now.
It's kind of made for most people. Like literally on Doctor Who, one slightly scathing critical review, like one critic on here is like gave something that wasn't completely positive. Liz Shannon Miller from IndieWire, lovely intentions, but upon deeper inspection, saying very little.
Right.
Like literally just one. And I mentioned, I kind of mentioned a lot of these reviews here. Oh, here's another fucking wonderful review from someone from TV.com, Caitlin Thomas. It's the show it's always been, only now there's better representation. There's still work to be done, but this is a much needed step in the right direction and fewer Daleks.
What does that even mean?
Well, it's kind of a symptom of something I've heard a million times, is people, especially with a heavy social justice bent, will never be happy.
No.
It's similar to a criticism I heard about television demographics. Sometimes there's this idea of like the idealized audience you're writing for, which doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, it's good that it's a woman and there's a diverse cast, but, you know, we need more.
You've got what you wanted. You have literally, but you know, I think it was Medica that really does put this in a really good perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Where he says that a lot of these type of people will inject themselves into a franchise or a fandom that they don't care about at all, and then just go on and on
to
about
make
their
noise,
political agenda until it ruins it. That is an example of that.
Bit like what happened with Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh
my God, have you seen Marvel these days?
I've seen some of the new lines and some of the changes they've done to some of the characters.
There was apparently
it's so woke.
To someone who was reading a new Hulk comic.
Yeah,
there's an issue where the Hulk's all skinny for some reason, but he's walking along with this like ethnic child, and she's going on and on about how she wishes she was him because he's so strong and did all of this damage because there's this damaged city everywhere. And then she starts going on about how the white man has beat on her race for so many years, out of nowhere, apparently, and it had nothing to do with anything. And then she wishes she was the Hulk so she could kill everyone.
Yes, this dialogue is completely natural.
Yeah, I just
again these days it might.
I'm glad he didn't see that.
I'd be interested to see that because I'm just curious to see if the Hulk would offer any response to that, or Would you just?
Apparently, he was just somber and sad.
Like white people should be.
Despite the fact he has been more abused and more technically racially prejudiced against for being green. Remember, she's speaking to a giant green fictional character, and they're going on about
who has been historically persecuted by the world,
by the army. Yeah. But no, you know, this thing that, and let's be fair, right? There is racism in the world, but and there is, and it should be abolished. It completely should. I agree, 100%. But a lot of the people that will go on about it, and a lot of people that will use it as a weapon, have never actually faced what they're citing, like the whole slavery thing, the whole, you know what I mean? And I find that quite annoying.
Not to mention a good chunk of the people condescending to everyone else, including me, are like middle-class white kids.
Yeah, I know. But that's one thing I really never understood, because they'll use that whole, yeah, but we were slaves for so long. Okay, well, so are the English. Think about the Anglo-Saxons and think about... we don't bring it up at every opportunity to the French. Like, I'm sorry, we don't. Or when Rome invaded, or this has happened. Can we move on? And yes, if there is anything like that, examples, you know, in any culture, any race, anything, let's abolish it.
So actually, funny.
I don't understand, because they always use that argument, and you brought that up a little while back, that you hate when they say in this day and age, and it's like, okay,
it's the current year.
Well, you're still doing that in this day and age. That's ridiculous.
It's interesting you brought up about people seeing themselves and injecting themselves into things, because we've got 2 reviews here for Doctor Who. Fans who've waited years, even decades, to see themselves in a certain time traveling alien will finally get their wish. I don't know about you, but do you know when you watch things? I mean, I think everyone, it's good to relate to a character on some level, but do you ever see yourself like as completely represented in the things you watch?
No, that's why I watch them. I'm not watching Halloween because I want to stab someone to death or be chased by a masked serial killer.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the corner of my room here. One of my favorite things as a child, favorite game characters, is Lara Croft. But I'm not a healthy young woman who's rich and goes on adventures.
She's not representing you at all.
Not really. She's a favorite of mine, and you know, I kind of wanted to be Lara Croft as a kid, especially. But I'm not going to ask them to change her into like a stubby white guy.
What, Donut Drake?
Donut Drake. To be honest, I do sometimes play as Donut Drake because it's hilarious.
The next time I play that, I'm going to play that whole game as Donut Drake.
It's pretty fun. Oh, God. I don't want to stick too long on this because it's actually taking me long in the thought. But another review from this Kylie Klein-Nixon from stuff.co.New Zealand. In short, it's the same old brand new Doctor Who. Even if it's not what you want, it's exactly what we need. Wonderful stuff. Again, it's just commenting on the change, but I like how it says, even if it's not what you want, as in apparently pleasing fans is supposed to be secondary. Yeah,
exactly. I'm sorry, it's always been priority number 1 for any business is know your audience, but apparently the media not anymore.
I've got some like the negative audience reviews up, the ones I actually trust on here. I'm not going to read through them pretty much, to be honest, but a lot of people just talking about the same kind of stuff. The highest,
boring and stuff.
Yeah, although a lot of critical reviews have been highlighted, only one non-critic review has been highlighted. It's by the Sylvester K. Oh, spoilers. He said, the critics are liars. I accidentally watched an episode, and my God, it was awful and full of stereotypes. The best character was an old man who speaks the truth on multiple occasions. Everyone else was a diversity insult. Now, the reaction to Sylvester K would be, oh, well, he's just a racist. He's just a misogynist. He just hates people.
Really?
Well, no, it's not on here, but that's what the reaction would be. Only someone who's a hateful bigot would think that.
Yeah.
So I looked into this Sylvester McKay. He's so much of a bigot that Luke Cage is one of his favorite superheroes.
Yeah.
And one of his favorite characters. He so much of a bigot, he likes Orange is the New Black and The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, two female-centric shows.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, none of that matters because he likes Doctor Who, and, you know, according to the BBC and many media outlets, anyone who dislikes Doctor Who is a fucking racist and a misogynist.
Despite anything else in their life.
Yeah. So I just thought I would highlight that guy in particular because it's, you know, just to give an example of, like, actual human beings and not the boogeyman that the media would, like, have you believe.
Yeah. Quite a sad world we're living in.
Now, I was going to let this topic go, but it's kind of related to this. While I was getting some of these screenshots and just watching I was watching YouTube, actually. This might have been one of the channels I mentioned, like Nerderotic or Mecharandom42. Not 100%, but one of them mentioned that apparently Amazon isn't letting people review the new series anymore on their website.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't want to just say that without investigating it myself. So I had a little bit of a look-see. Just waiting for the slideshow to load up. Any day now.
I like live.
Live is fantastic. All right, so for context, I've got here screenshots of the Doctor Who Complete Series 11 for DVD and like Steelbook exclusive Blu-ray. They're both standing an average of they've got 313 reviews.
Right.
The average score is 2.5 stars, which, to be honest, I think might be relatively fair. It's a lot more fair than the fucking score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, as I said, it's got 313 reviews, blah, blah, blah. Now, it was stopped. For some reason, the reviews were stopped there. Some people was thinking maybe it was to do with, you know, maybe there's a limit on how many reviews you can leave. Well, that's apparently horseshit because I checked out one of the more popular things, obviously, is Avengers Infinity War. That has 1,614 reviews to it, as opposed to Doctor Who's 313. It's also a whole 2 stars higher. And I went on that to attempt to leave a review on Avengers, and I could. I selected the option. It opened up. It was allowing me to leave a rating. I didn't leave one, of course, because... Well, no, I probably could have. I have actually seen it, but that's not what the point is. So that works. There isn't like a general...
Basically because they know it's good.
Yeah. So that works. So there's not a general problem with Amazon and leaving reviews because that thing has so much more reviews than Doctor Who has.
Yeah.
So I decided to go on Doctor Who as well, see if I could do the same thing. Again, I haven't seen the series, so unlike a lot of fucking people I've noticed, I didn't review it without seeing it. And I got this. Sorry, we are unable to accept reviews for this product. This product has limitations on submitting reviews.
Okay, that's odd because Doctor Who's incredibly popular. It's probably as popular as Avengers.
It does say, though, there can be a number of reasons for this, including unusual reviewing activity, which might well be a thing.
Difference of opinion.
Oh, and this screenshot also shows my previous purchases. I've got Scream Queen Series 1, nice. Scream Queen's Devil Mask, and that cow I got you for Christmas.
Yes.
So I went on to check other Doctor Who DVDs. The series before that, Season 10B, Capaldi's last one. Can still leave reviews for that. And interestingly enough, Doctor Who Resolution, the fucking, from what I've heard, the awful New Year's thing. Again, not seen it. I've heard pretty much nothing but bad things, and even from some critics, surprisingly, like not particularly impressed with it. That currently has 30 customer reviews. You can still leave reviews on that.
Oh, really?
Kind of interesting. Again, didn't actually do it because, unlike some people, I'm not a complete fucking loser.
Yeah, you're not going to just spite it for spite's sake. It might be good. I've not seen it. I don't know.
No. But on the subject of that, this is another little peeve of mine. Whether or not you like the show or hate the show, I think it's kind of ridiculous how you are actually able to review things before they're even shown on television. For example, 20th of December, this is a negative review. What dreadful series it's been. Not holding out for this finale. Glad to see it'll end. 1 star. 23rd of December. Unfortunately, this has been the worst series in modern history due to terrible writing, no sense of peril, and a Doctor Who gains a poor impression of David Tennant. I've heard that as well. Don't waste your time buying this. Now, these are both these were earlier in December, so this was before the episode was, even on. 21st of December, on the opposite side of the scale, someone put 5 stars. This will be great. I can't believe they're allowing reviews when the episode's not even been shown yet. So I'm writing a 5-star review to cancel out the haters because this series has been great. And this series looked like it's really going to be special and epic. Much better idea than trying to invent a Christmas story. New Year's time is more time-centered. And it looks like Chibnall's been saving something really epic for this one.
Barf.
So I did that in response of like the negative reviews. Me personally, whatever side of it you're on, I wouldn't engage in it because you're all being idiots.
Yeah. No, exactly. You shouldn't review until it's out.
Like, again, we're talking about how bad the new series supposedly is. I'm just going off what I've been told. I'll fully admit I haven't seen it. I'm just going off the general reaction, which is kind of giving a good indication of what it's like. When it becomes available to me, I will actually watch it and I will give an update.
Oh, no, I will as well. But to be honest with you, we haven't once commented on the quality of the show. We've commented more on
the reaction
of the fans.
Yeah, which is interesting. And, I missed a good chunk of Capaldi's. I only recently, saw some of his, which I missed.
Yeah, I saw some of them. I ended up stopped watching them halfway through, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Fucking hell, here's another one, 5 stars. Oh, bore off everyone else leaving horrible reviews. This is the most refreshing and new Doctor Who has been in ages. Again.
Right, refreshing.
You're really crackling up, dude.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of bad quality, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But again, this 5-star review was left on the 25th of December, so 6 days before this episode even shown. There's a negative.
Wait before they push their agendas.
Yeah, there's a negative review above it, which is 1 star. But to be fair to this Cheryl D, it is on the 5th, so she can actually leave that because she actually saw the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, just trying to look. Not much else here. Just kind of the general Amazon scores. Again, it's very fucking interesting. But of course, if you don't like Doctor Who, just to top off from the last point. You are right wing because according to wonderful articles like in Pride, why right wing Doctor Who fans hate this season and why they are wrong. Why do so many Doctor Who fans hate the idea of a Doctor being a woman in season 11? Of course,
I personally have no issue with it anymore.
No.
I'll be honest.
And if you ask most people, including us, because although I can't comment on the new series, I can comment on how downhill it's been going for a while, which is the original reason why I stopped it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just because it's a woman, it's because the show itself kind of sucks.
It's been boring for a while, yeah.
It has been boring for a while. How long have we been?
I think Matt Smith's probably the last good one.
Matt Smith was a Doctor I liked, but even his stories were going fucking downhill quite quick.
God, yeah, I know.
If they had Matt Smith and good stories, it would be golden.
Yeah, I think that was mostly down to Moffat trying to, I don't know, be overly clever with it.
Oh God, yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. Right, I'm going to try and rush through this because this is going on a little bit longer, so I guess the stream's going to be a little longer than planned, but I'm going to try and rush through. So, just some news to kind of round off the last year. I was made aware of this recently by a James Allsup video. It was about a little controversy of a quote-unquote white woman being caught on camera calling the police on a quote-unquote black woman. Now, this happened a few months back and was reported like quite wildly in various little websites and shit. Jesus Christ. I would have showed you people, but it looks like my browser went off suddenly. Just a moment. I'll bring up the screenshot in the meantime. For example, this is from ebony.com news. White woman calls on cops on black woman for waiting for an Uber. Let's just have a quick look at the article because I took some screenshots of this. This shows the original tweet. Blah, blah, blah. On Sunday afternoon, I was in Brooklyn waiting for a train outside, sheltered from the rain. A young woman who lives in the building opened the front door, told me I couldn't stand there and had to leave. I told her I was not going to move, so she proceeded to call the police. Hashtag this is America. Hashtag white privilege. Hashtag accountability. Hashtag epidemic entitlement. You know, all the fun little buzzwords and things.
Yeah, all the little hashtags.
Yeah. So articles like the New York Times and Ebony ran through this, followed by the young white woman. If you go anywhere, you'll be committing a crime as well. You know that, right? And then she frantically provided the license plate to the 911 operator. The Brooklyn resident becomes the latest white person to be recorded calling the cops on black people carrying out everyday tasks. The frequent occurrences have prompted a discussion about what be the consequences of these kind of reports. Now, the interesting thing about this particular one, I may as well not, I'm going to bring up the article, but here's the deal. Turns out the woman recording the racial abuse wasn't black. And the woman calling the cops wasn't black either.
Yeah.
They were both Hispanic women.
I remember you saying, yeah.
But,
Great world.
You know, so this story, of course, got blown out of proportion as soon as the race bathing started.
Yeah.
And although, you know, afterwards, it was some news outlets actually did correct it and provided an update to the story. Not fucking all of them. For instance, this article in New York Post, its highlight article, which was from August the 2nd, 2018, is woman called cops on me for standing in doorway during the rain. To its credit, it does talk about both the women being Hispanic and the fact that the woman who actually called the cops was autistic and was actually very nervous and uncomfortable about having people outside their door. So that's kind of what came off it. And it also commented on the fact that this woman has now been getting so much racial abuse for being, you know, a white woman calling on a black woman, despite the fact neither of those things are the case. So she's...
It doesn't matter about the truth, though.
No. So she's had her life ruined. But, and, you know, the New York Post talks about articles that have been written about, you know, people incorrectly presenting this information, which it doesn't state in the article. But you might notice this original story was on August the 2nd, pretty much when it kicked off. But the story was updated on October the 4th. So I wonder why that was. Maybe it's because when you actually look at the link online, and especially look at the web address, it says, white woman called cops on me for standing in the doorway. So what the New York Post failed to mention is this was actually one of the very fucking publications that was spreading this bullshit.
Yeah.
In this very article, actually, it's updated it since, changed some words around, but in nowhere in this article is there any kind of retraction. The only thing it says is that it's updated.
No apologies. You know, just ruined this woman's life.
No apologies. No apologies needed, because, you know.
That's all right. We thought we were protecting someone.
Yeah, despite
we just damaged somebody's reputation and life, but
despite the fact we had like no context to like what the phone call was.
They don't need it though, because they're so high on that high horse. They don't need to. Christ.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my YouTube to see if I can bring this up. I'm posting this on my YouTube, so I don't really have to be too concerned about privacy or anything because people already know it. I'm not going to give the New York Post too much credit because it didn't admit to the fact that it got it wrong. It just sneakily updated the article and hope no one noticed, despite the fact the original fucking title is still in the address bar.
No way.
Which is fantastic.
So people will just skate over that and see it.
Oh yeah, but other media groups haven't even fucking bothered correcting it, despite the fact the truth has been made available. Wonderful groups like The Root, which is a wonderfully fucking race-baiting media site and YouTube videos. Still on here, hashtag Brooklyn Becky, cops called on black woman waiting for an Uber in the rain. This fucking video has been up since August the 3rd. This story has...
The person's probably still getting death threats.
Yeah. This story has been corrected since at least October, going by the New York article. Nope, this one still says cops called on black woman. Let me look at the description on here. The Root has such amazing race-baiting bullshit if you spend some time looking at it. Not one thing on here, not the title, not one thing in the description says that, oh, by the way, this has changed now. And what I really like is a lot of people aren't buying it. So it has like a massive dislike ratio, including what I put on it.
Yeah.
Compared to the likes. And just look at the comments. I'm not going to read the first one because that's me. Anyway, people pointing out this woman has autism, both are Hispanic. Also, it's private property, so get the fuck out. When you were going to admit that it was two Latinas arguing? Why don't we use footage of a, in brackets, non-white to demonize white people? And, both women are Hispanic. She stood inches away from a random person's door. But, it's The Root. It's on the right side of history. That isn't going to fucking correct itself at any point.
No.
So, this was a pretty awful story, and I feel fucking so bad for this woman. Because, she kind of behaved in a way that seems natural to her. She wasn't being outwardly hateful. Someone was hanging around outside her door. She already has problems.
Yeah, so she can't really be blamed for it, really.
No, but...
It might be annoying, I guess, if it was you, but... So, get over it.
But, hopefully we can all, in 2019, move on and be more aware of these things and, not be as race-baiting or quick to jump the gun.
Woke.
Yeah. Except 2019. Yeah, except 2019, one of the controversies I did come across was to do with exactly that. Really? Specifically the Golden Globes. So, quick question. Have you seen Black Panther?
No.
Neither have I. For no other particular reason, as I just purely I haven't got around to it yet. I will do, because I watch all the Marvel movies eventually, but I don't actually watch most of them in the cinema.
No, same.
Because beyond the main characters I like, I'm not interested in the entire universe. I haven't seen the new Ant-Man, not seen Black Panther. I've not even seen Guardians 2, and that's supposed to be great.
Oh, it is. It's pretty sweet.
And to be honest, the only reason I saw Doctor Strange was because I was at your house and was invited along when you decided to go. If I was on my own, I probably wouldn't even have seen it in the cinema. I would have caught up on it later.
Yeah.
So, Black Panther being a good thing, and the fact that Black Panther is the first superhero movie to be nominated for, a Golden Globe for drama. This is a big deal. You had people like Eric Davis, who I forgot who he works for. Yeah, works for some media thing. In the history of Golden Globes, when a film topped the domestic box office and was nominated for Best Picture and Drama, it has won 17 out of the 22 times. The last film to lose was Star Wars in 1977. So if hashtag Black Panther loses, it'll be the first time this has happened in 40 years. Guess what? Black Panther didn't win.
Nice.
So, yeah, we have our old friends, The Root, here again. So Black Panther, the third largest grossing film of all time, didn't win the last award at the Golden Globes. Question mark, exclamation point. Simone, someone called Simone. How is it that one of the highest grossing movies didn't win anything? Interesting. Wakanda Forever. We don't want to talk about the Golden Globe snub of Black Panther. Just look at the films like Fly Ass Stars. So apparently, Black Panther not winning is, at least according to some people, suspicious because it was a black thing.
Apparently, it's quite a humdrum, boring movie, so maybe that's why. I've
heard that. Like, I've heard it has a decent villain, but it's kind of a typical CGI like sci-fi fest.
Yeah. But you know what I did hear, though, mind you? Aquaman, despite what you might think about Aquaman, is really fun because apparently there's no politics at all. It's just a decent superhero movie, and in fact, it's getting criticisms because of the way that it's portraying women characters.
You're going full on Davros.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, it's a bit better now.
Oh. Yeah, no, apparently the new Aquaman's getting shit for the way it's portraying women.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just a decent action movie, but it doesn't claim to be anything else. It's like, well,
because not everything has to be a fucking statement.
Yeah, exactly. It can't just be entertainment anymore.
Jesus Christ.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, my slideshow actually just crashed, so I'm just restarting it because, believe it or not, I have more to point out about this whole Golden Globes thing. So yeah, apparently, at least according to some people's minds. Now, to be honest, I was expecting a lot more about this because I heard from a few YouTubers about like a lot of people on Twitter saying like how it's like racism and it's prejudice that Black Panther didn't win. I don't know if maybe they're blown out of proportion or it's just when I checked it, it wasn't the case. But when I had like a good look through Twitter, and I did spend quite a long time looking through the hashtags, I didn't really see too much evidence for that.
Yeah.
Some people sure, as we've just shown, but mostly it wasn't that point. And a lot of people were kind of pointing out the obvious. It's a comic book film. Name the last time a comic book movie won Best Picture.
Good point.
And someone pointed out that's the third highest grossing film ever. Apparently it's not. Fast 7 earned more. Yet I wouldn't expect necessarily to see that win the award either.
Which one got more?
Fast 7.
Right.
The Fast and the Furious sequel. And Eric Davis, who I mentioned earlier, also mentioned this. The very fact that Black Panther is the first superhero film to be nominated is pretty fucking impressive. On its own. And apparently if the Golden Globes are so racist, how come the first Asian woman to win Best Leading Actress in a Drama? That thing happened this year for Sandra Oh for Killing Eve.
Did it?
Yeah. Regina King also got Best Performance by Actress in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture, who, you know, if you don't know, is a black lady. But, you know, it's racist. In the film that Black Panther lost to was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, okay.
Which, apparently, if the Oscars is so, like, fucking prejudice against people and minorities, bear in mind that the movie that won Best Drama is about Freddie Mercury, a gay man, played by an American Egyptian. But, you know, the Oscars, I was about to go back to that because that's another thing. But no, the Golden Globes are just fucking racist.
That's exactly what it is.
I also do want to point out, because this was on the Grapevine, also part of The Root. Yo, the very same thing that was complaining about Black Panther not winning is the fucking publication that's talking about how great it was Regina King won.
I know.
But this is an interesting quote I just thought I'd quickly point out. King also vowed to produce films with 50% women, which kind of leads into something that I brought up a while ago about balancing your bookcase. There seems to be this weird focus on it being like very 50%.
I know.
Like, it doesn't matter.
In my opinion, you've just got to balance things.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a good thing or you enjoy it, as long as it's 50% straight down the middle. Like, who was the fucking biblical king? Solomon. But okay, so Black Panther didn't win. But I thought this was kind of interesting because, again, well, it's racist that didn't win. Yet, what won in 2017? Moonlight, a film about a gay African American. What won in 2014? 12 Years a Slave. I think you can probably guess what that was fucking about.
Twin Towers, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, totally. Last year's was Three Billboards, which I haven't seen. I've honestly heard mixed things about.
Yeah, I've heard it's incredibly boring.
Jesus Christ, your audio. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. This kind of got me thinking. I started looking a bit through Golden Globe's history. They keep pointing out about how like popular Black Panther was, and for most people it was. You know, I haven't seen it yet, but I will check it out. But a lot of these films, and it's a bit like Oscar movies, although they were popular at the time, they're not always the kind of things that like stick out. Like they don't have a lasting power. For instance, have you heard of The Descendants? Because apparently it won in 2012.
Oh God, no.
Have you heard of On a Golden Pond? Because that won in 1982. Are you heard of Ordinary People? Because that won in 1981.
Nope.
To be honest, I'm kind of lost at the point I was trying to make here, but it's just not winning a Golden Globe isn't necessarily the be-all and end-all of things.
Yeah.
One, I don't think it was a racist thing because, you know, other black-centric films have won before, and quite frankly, from what I've heard, Bohemian Rhapsody was a better movie than Black Panther.
Yeah, same. I've heard it was much better.
And two, it's like, I don't know how much it really matters, because even if you win an award, like these films I've just mentioned, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a film that stands the test of time. It's like the Oscars, as amusing as it is to watch the Oscar thing sometimes, like many award shows, it's not really relevant.
Exactly.
It's the same.
Longevity's gone. Yeah.
Like honestly, it's the same as like critical reviews. It's like, does it really matter that fucking much what a few people say?
Yeah.
Or award accolades to?
It does to some people, apparently.
Okay. Right. I do apologize. The stream is actually a bit longer than planned, but as long as you're okay for a little bit of time, we'll quickly get through this.
Oh, yeah.
Right, we've reported on that, okay. Do you know what? I'm gonna leave this for next time. Let's lighten the mood a bit and talk about dead people.
Sweet.
We've had an interesting year for deaths. Although not all of them have happened in 2018, we have reported on a few of them on this little show, including the guy who got his girlfriend to shoot them fucking dead in a publicity stunt, and multiple selfie-related deaths.
Oh yeah,
including my favorite, really scary one: the guy who's keeps taking pictures as the train is getting closer and closer to him.
Oh yeah,
grinning like
a real issue in America.
Grinning like a fucking idiot. So let's rest in peace to those who have passed this previous year. Let's look ahead to who could die in 2019. We are, of course, talking about Celebrity Deadpool. Well, quote unquote, Celebrity Deadpool. We have done these previously. Well, I haven't done this like massively organized previously, but I figured for this year, let's just be all out bad taste, and let's maybe pull our predictions and maybe a little prize on who gets the most. So, if you don't know, the idea of a Deadpool is you have a list of people who you expect to die at some point, whether naturally or unnaturally, and different rules depending. Some people have a prize per celebrity death. Some people just take an overall total and they're the winner. It's it's pretty fucking morbid, but I've heard the criticism that it's mean because they think like you're wanting these people to die. You're not wanting these people to die. It's like, to me, it's a bit like betting on races or something. You have no control over it. You're just waiting on an outcome.
Yeah.
You get bets for all sorts of shit, like presidential elections, which is another big fucking thing again. But
I think that's really boring as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Slightly ruined the surprise there. Do you want to go into your top 10 picks for who may die this year?
Yeah, I mean, I know we're short on time, so I'll just go through them. I've got 10, and I don't know if you did want to do like a bet. So by the 31st of December, whoever has the most wins like £5 or something stupid.
Yeah, tell you what. I was talking to this with someone who was asking if we were going to do it like a prize on each death, or we're just going to do like a pot at the end. I think pot's probably more simple.
Probably the best, yeah, because we've got some of the same as well.
Yeah.
As far as I remember. So my 10, I've got Tom Baker, unfortunately. A couple of people that I didn't know were alive still, like Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury, Doris Day.
I did not know she was still alive.
Yeah. And now a couple of people that I don't really want to go, but might, is James Earl Jones.
Very good one.
Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah. Alice Cooper. And I've got a couple of wild cards.
Yep.
My first one's Russell Brand.
Oh.
That's more of a hopeful. I just think with his stupid lifestyle and the way he is, he might do something to try and impress somebody and fall off a building or something.
Or at the very least, you'll be obnoxious and someone will like punch him and he will end up dead.
Punch him to death, yeah. And my last one is Donald Trump.
Which, it's sadly more likely than some of the other ones.
Yeah, and that one is mostly, I mean, he's quite old as well, but someone might assassinate him. I think that's sad, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Not going to go uber into my opinions on Trump, but they're not, it's not completely terrible, let's just say.
Yeah, but they're not, let's murder him worthy.
Yeah. So
again, these Deadpools aren't people we want to die.
Not necessarily. It's just, it's like betting on the results of something. It's just, we'll see what happens. And,
exactly.
If nothing else, might get a little bit of money at the end if the unfortunate does happen to some people.
Yeah.
Hey, we didn't cause it. We're just, I don't want to say benefiting from their deaths, although technically that's true. So it's kind of a moral gray area. I'll go through mine. I'll give a brief explanation. I got Tom Baker. Partly because, he's an old actor. He was the fourth Doctor, but also the previous three Doctors have kind of died in order as well, presumably because of their age. So he sadly would be next on the chopping block if that trend continues. I have Colin Baker. Not as old, but he's actually a lovely man. I've met him in person. But I've noticed throughout his years when he's been acting and in interviews, he seems to have this bit of an issue of fluctuating weight.
Yeah, of them all, sadly, he's probably the least healthy.
Yeah, he's been. I saw him. I think I saw him in something fairly recently. He actually looked all right, but previously he's been huge, and even just fluctuating weight on its own can be like a sign of health problems. So I don't want it to happen. I've met the guy. I had an autograph with him. He was lovely to talk to. I like him, but it might happen. So that's why he's on the list.
Yeah.
Third, I've not met him, but he's another guy I like. Brian Blessed.
Yeah, that would be awesome. No, that would not be awesome. I just mean he is awesome.
Yeah, but he's like, what is he? He's like 89 or early 90s now, something like that.
God damn, really?
And he still wants to go into space and climb Everest, so good on him.
Yeah.
If anything else, he might die out of like adventure, so fuck it. That's one of the better ways to go, I suppose.
I guess.
Got Prince Philip. I was going to go with the Queen, but someone pointed out maybe he's a bit more likely because I think he is older and I'm pretty sure throughout my entire life, he's always been very decrepit looking. So it's going to happen at some point.
This year.
Yeah. Number 5 is my wild card, Miley Cyrus. Now, some people disagree with me on this because she's not really much a thing anymore in the media. And like people don't really talk about her antics as much, and she's not really that present. But my argument is that might be why something will happen. Maybe she'll do something stupid. Maybe she'll want to do a stunt. Maybe she'll want to do something to get like more relevancy and, you know,
attention.
Yeah, just fucking crash out. But she's my wild card anyway. Number 6 is John Cleese.
Oh.
Which would be sad, but you know, he's a python. The pythons are getting on.
They are. I think I said this on the show that never was, but I'm worried about Terry Jones actually.
Yeah, he has additional health problems as well, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I've made mine now. I'm not going to change it, but love the pythons, maybe.
Yeah, that would be sad. On a similar vein to that, actually, old, well-known personalities, I have Ringo Starr on mine. Because we're 50% down on Beatles now. It's just a matter of time before the other 50% go. And for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know if this is just like prejudice or a silly image in my head. I think Paul might outlive him, but perhaps not by much.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, I kind of like Ringo Starr, but that's on the list. Similar vein, my next one is Elton John.
Great pianist.
He's a great musician. I've honestly seen him live twice. Fucking obnoxious shithead diva.
Yeah.
If you interact with him.
The few of them are, like Colin Baker, the fans can be rude, and John Cleese is a complete tool.
Colin Baker was actually Colin Baker was lovely with me, but I you know, sometimes could be on and off. I've heard like Davison can be a bit temperamental.
Yeah, Peter Davison was rude to a mutual friend of ours, but was lovely to me.
Do you know what? Tom Baker has been well known for having like mood swings.
Yeah.
But you know, Elton John, a number of reasons. You know, famous musician, became huge in the 70s. And, you know, was big in the 80s as well. A lot of those people have dropped off. It's kind of that generation of, like, you know, classic pop rock musicians like Bowie and...
It's that time.
Yeah, Chris, you know, even if you go into, like, Prince, you know, it could be him next. And plus, Elton John, to be perfectly fair, hasn't always been the healthiest.
Yeah, true.
So, what's that? That is 8. My last 2 are kind of connected. Not so much celebrity famous as they are internet famous or internet infamous. I have Barbara Chandler and Christian/Christine Weston Chandler.
You want that to happen?
I wouldn't say that, but it becomes increasingly more likely by the day. Barbara at this point, okay, if you don't know who these people are, just fucking Google or YouTube like Chris Chan.
Yeah.
Specifically, if you want a very quick introduction, which is still quite comprehensive, look at Down the Rabbit Hole, Chris Chan by Fred Knudsen.
That was pretty sweet, that. Yeah.
That's a really good one. There's another good hour-long documentary on Chris Chan, but it's a bit outdated now because it was from a few years ago. And there was like, there's the series by Gino Samuel, which is very lengthy, but very comprehensive to a point. Right, if you don't know who it is, yeah, just Google Chris Chan or on YouTube, look at Down the Rabbit Hole, Chris Chan. That gives you the basic introduction and is weird.
Does it count if we end up going to the alternate dimension that he keeps going on about?
I'm going to bring that up. Bob Chan's a corpse at this point. She's a walking corpse. She's going to die at any moment. Chris Chan, if you're not aware, is basically a mentally, I'm going to say mentally challenged, but also just kind of generally insane man-child who kind of lives with his mother, and he's like 36 years old. He's supposedly high-functioning autistic, but it doesn't seem that high-functioning.
To be honest with you.
Yeah. I was debating whether or not to leave this, but I have brought it up. So you know what? We'll make this the last topic. We'll do a quick rundown of what's been going on with Chris in 2018. Yeah, he's in a bit of a state, and you know, let me just bring this up very quickly. I've selected a few of his tweets because I found I spent most of my time on Twitter looking at either Chris Chan updates or stuff from Mr. Anti-Bully Medicare and just other personalities. But it's hard to start to try and give an introduction to Chris Chan, which is why I suggest maybe you look at Fred Nudson's videos or some of the other ones. But
yeah, basically
autistic, challenged, very unhealthy man-child, is now supposedly a trans woman, wants to be called by Christine. They got an infected cut in their taint, which they're calling a vagina, which they wanted to grow. Creator of an awful copyright infringing webcomic, which became infamous years ago, and which is how they became known as, and known for their tantrums and just bizarre behaviors.
Especially in conventions.
Yeah. Yeah. For instance, they were kicked out of a convention in this last year for trying to sell merchandise of their quote-unquote original stuff, despite the fact they didn't have a license. And two, although I don't have absolute confirmation on this, for kind of harassing guests, touching them and kissing them. And anyway, they threw a tantrum and curled up into a ball. So that was a famous image for a while. I'm not gonna. Yeah, do you know what? That's about as much as I'm going to say for an intro. If you heard of Chris Chan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, you can look it up because it's a huge topic. He is
everywhere. Yeah,
Chris Chan is. I'm saying this completely sincere because this is actually scarily true. You may not have heard of them, but they're actually the most documented person ever.
Yeah,
so much about their life is known and documented. But anyway, what happened to Chris Chan this year? Well, they doxed someone, which is always fun. But only it wasn't them who doxed someone. I'm just going to leave it like this. No, I'll bring it up full screen. Yeah, they didn't. It wasn't actually them who doxed this person. It was their husband. Now, if you're not aware, Chris Chan's in a three-way, it's a 3 or 4 way marriage with 3 other individuals. Only those individuals aren't
real
humans or anything. They're fictional characters. I'm not sure which one it was who caused the doxing, but it might have been Mewtwo, because by the way, the Pokemon Mewtwo is one of their husbands apparently. Yeah. Quick update of the past 10 years. They went from being sort of very aspergic and writing awful comics to these days just being fucking full on insane.
Yeah, he is a danger unto himself. And as you're probably about to mention, cats.
I will mention that. Here's a tweet, for example. I looked online just now. I was unable to find much fan art of Machi-chan, Krizel, Sylvana, and Mewtwo, and I together. We are married. I am surprised no one drew us, or even a piece, or at least 2 or 5. Positive fanfic stories are encouraged. I mean, I'm not meaning to be pushy or anything like that. It's only an observation. It surprised me and left me puzzled.
You do a good Chris Chan.
I've been told. I don't know if that's necessarily a talent to be proud of.
Yeah.
So quickly, you might be asking, how is he married to fictional characters? Well, here it is. As everyone is well aware by now, I am very well connected with our sister dimension that most of us in this world here share and work together on in our respective real estates. To use the term metaphorically, as our shares in universe C197 ranges, basically, Chris believes there's a sister dimension to ours, an alternate dimension where fictional characters and original creations and monstrosities from DeviantArt actually exist. This is something we call the dimensional merge, which I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's actually a huge fucking topic. And, you know, again, if you look on YouTube, I'm forgetting the names right now. It's been talked about quite a lot. Base Shaman's a good one. He does a lot on Chris Chan, but does it in a bit more sympathetical light, and he's just a cool dude.
Yeah.
Maybe check out Base Shaman or someone else when they talk about like Chris Chan, the dimensional merge. But here's a wonderful image of, I think it's supposed to be the Rapture, but this is probably what Chris imagines in their head.
Is it bath time?
Yeah, Chris has also made things. If you know about the saga, you'll know about Megan, a girl he was once friends with and then kind of sexually harassed and then drew pornography about her. And that's kind of what led to her cutting him out of her life. 10 years later, apparently still not over it. I will personally and exclusively drive to visit Megan if I can get enough donations. I will even take my mother and Pollylobes with me, those are the fictional characters, so she can see once and truly that she is a goddess as well. But to do this, I need money for food and gas. Chan's also constantly begging. What was amusing about this tweet that's very short afterwards, I have been informed by a trusted source that Megan has guns and I will not go to visit her. I just wish she would have a heart. Young Pepsi commenting, isn't this the plot of the new Halloween movie? Not exactly. I'm not going into too much details. I'm just rushing over this because you know, it's just very quickly. As you mentioned earlier, something about cats. There was a stray cat which Chris came across, which had kittens. Felt sorry for them in the cold, so took the kittens in to the house. That is a questionable thing because kittens ideally should be with their mother at the point, but whether or not it's cold, it can raise a bit of an ethical question whether you want to risk it or not. But the fact that he took them into his house, which his family are known as hoarders who live in absolute squalor and filth, people were naturally concerned, saying, you know, maybe you should take them to a vet, or, you know, maybe, you know, put them up for adoption or give them to a service. But Chris Chan wasn't having any of this. They are my cats. I am their mother. Totally sane. Why can't you just leave me alone? I love and care on each for every one of them. Again, begging for money. Thank you. Money can be directed to my PayPal, or you can make an instant paid pledge. We are not
giving him money. Oh my god.
Trolls and the people who white knight them, who I think are arguably worse than the trolls because they're just fucking, you know, enabling? That's the word. And we are not going to give up these kittens. They are all safe and recovering with the medicine Dr. Hagen give us. Their eyes will recover between 1 and 2 weeks. They are all being fed and eating well, so calm down. We are dutiful in caring for them. Oh, people, did I not tell you not to contact Animal Control? Because we just had a visitor who came and checked on us. Good grief. At the same time saying that he takes good care of them. Next tweet down. Please help my kittens. I will not get any of this money, and the food and medicine will be delivered to me. So begging for money for food and medicine because they can't take care of themselves, never mind animals. But they're totally in control and they can totally take care of fucking kittens. Week or two later, I feel it is time to let people know. Last night, my newly adopted kitten Patches died in my arms. I'd taken him to see the vet. We purchased him a heating pad and some kitten food with nutritional supplements, but to no avail. Hurt and drained. Cat emoji, teary eye.
I want to punch him like hard in the face.
So if the unhealthy lifestyle, potential incoming homelessness, if nothing else, being killed by an animal lover might lead him on, might fulfill my list. But you know, it's okay because they do not whine, bitch, or complain. They are literally like Stonewall Jackson or the Rock of Gibraltar. When it comes to coping and ignoring the hatred, they are absolutely the top notch. That they're like a sea of tranquility. But don't worry about the mental state. I know we've been talking a bit about it. Or, you know, the living situation because, you know, neither him nor Bob work. They get, you know, benefits and not a lot. A message for everyone. Tell me to get a job. A mind as great as my own does not need a job. Also, when you consider our days in this dimension, the world is numbered. Getting a job becomes silly in contrast, because I promise that in Quickville, nobody has work. By the way, Quickville is the town he imagined up and was originally part of the comics, but now seems to believe that it is real. But, you know, still give him money. He doesn't need a job. He shouldn't have to work because he's a superior mind, but give them money.
Yeah.
You know, especially PayPal. Minimum of $20 specifically posted here. If it's less than $20, you can go.
Chooses, man.
Yeah. If it's less than $20, you can go fuck yourself. And but you know, they're also a daily now, so there you go. He's asking us to pray to us deities, so including themselves, because they're apparently the
that man needs like serious help.
I mean, that was pretty much it. Like that's the last year in Chris Chan, super condensed. The dimensional merge I'm going to bring up because that's an entire fucking topic on themselves. I mean, what else is to say, really? They don't like Trump, although they did comment on some other things. Apparently, they're pleased that U.S. troops are leaving Syria. Yay, victories over some of the cyber bullies and terrorists, because that's what was going on in fucking Syria. Cyberbullying.
Is that honestly what he said?
Yes.
I hate him.
As I said, I follow quite a few people on Twitter, but like the main two I kind of keep up to date with most are Mr. Anti-Bully and Chris Chan, and it's purely for what I've like briefly run through there. It's because whenever they come up with something completely fucking insane, I get a screenshot of it because they pull up insane shit before. Like for instance, I mentioned Megan, his old friend who he fucking drew pornography of. He actually put that up on eBay very briefly and was asking some stupid like $5,000 for it.
Yeah.
He took it down though very soon after, and I wish I'd like gotten some sort of evidence of that happening. Otherwise, I would have talked about it a bit more, which is why whenever I'm on Twitter these days, I always have my snapshot thing up.
Don't lie, you wish you bought it.
If I had okay, it's not worth $5,000, and again, you would just be enabling them. But if I was wealthier and I had that money to send, I probably would.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Give it to some sort of local authority.
Well, not even that. God. Having a quick look. I don't think there's much else to say. As I said, this was a bit of a disorganized episode, but there was quite a lot I kind of wanted to get out there. And, you know, this coming year, we'll talk more about the topics like stupid shit happening, people getting themselves killed in really stupid ways. And, of course, politics, because as the Little Golden Book says, everyone I don't like is Hitler.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we'll keep you up to date on who's winning the
Deadpool,
yeah.
Oh, well, now that I have your selections, I'm gonna maybe put it up as like a recurring thing just in the corner. See how we go next week. And do you know what, audience? If you have picks for your own Deadpools this year, by all means, fill it in.
Oh, I'd love to hear them, to be honest with you. You might have some great picks. I mean, these are just ones that we picked out within a few minutes of thinking about it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I gave mine some thoughts. I actually had like people on there who, opposite to you didn't realize some people were still alive. I didn't realize some people had died recently. It was like, oh shit. I was going to put like George Bush Sr. on mine. It's like, oh wait, he died like 2 months ago. Oh well.
You would have won that one then.
Yeah. Usually we end these things with like a quiz, usually from BuzzFeed, because that's such a wonderful fucking website. But nah, we're running super long on this one. So yeah, just wanted to do a little bit of a stream. We're probably going to do more recorded episodes, but kind of just wanted to get this one knocked out. And as I said,
especially after last time.
Yeah, we did a stream last week, but like it got totally fucked up, so I've taken it down. But we'll keep this one up. So, like, if you're new to this at all, and well, thanks, I guess.
Yeah. Well, welcome. This is us.
Yeah, I don't have a way to end this, so let's just, say
goodbye.
Happy New Year, and do some good shit in 2019, because almost certainly a lot of bad and crazy shit's going to happen as well. So just take your victories where you can.
Well, exactly. I hope you all have a wonderful new year. Again, just don't listen to what critics say. Make your own opinions, and that includes us.
If there's anything to take away from this episode, don't listen to critics and be very suspicious of journalism, because it is so easy for absolute bullshit to get spun out of control.
Yeah, and we'll see you in the sister dimension.
Well, that's apparently happening right fucking now. So, if we're still around next episode, we'll go into the sister dimension shit.
Until then.
I've been Monadrew.
And I've been Cambrian.
Good night. Oh, God, it's morning. Good day.
Good day. Yes, it's early.
Have fun.